I'm going to be spending about $1,000 on one ticket. Seeing it live in concert was just like a healing moment to me. The moment that touched me the absolute most out of the entire concert was, so shook to be saying that. I never would have thought I would have said that, but it might be like go down as one of my biggest accomplishments in history. Hey guys, welcome back to Alexa Listens. If you're new here, my name is Alexa, and today I'm answering a very important question. Was Taylor Swift, the ERAS tour, worth the money? Was it worth it? What were my favorite moments? What did I love? What did I not like? What happened to me? My entire experience as a whole, basically. This is a series that I've been doing on my channel. After every concert, I'm kind of giving like my review, my thoughts, my opinions, my favorite parts, what I loved, what I didn't love, etc., etc., and just kind of giving like my honest thoughts about the concert itself. So today we are talking about the ERAS tour. It has been a while since I actually went. I went at the very like end of spring, beginning of summer. I went in May, I believe. I am behind on catching up with all of these concerts that I've been to, but today we are getting into it. I went to Nashville Night 3 at the Titan Stadium, and I was like the infamous like rain show that almost never was. So if you haven't heard of Nashville Night 3, then you don't know. Let me give you a little bit of a background scenario of how I got the tickets, like what happened when we got to the stadium, all of those kind of things that led up to the actual concert. So I remember it was the week of the Nashville shows, and I saw like a huge drop in prices for Nashville Night 1, and I almost bought them. I was like this close. Like it was literally week of, and I was like, no, I can't because I have to be to work the next day, and I just feel like that wouldn't be right. And I almost bought the tickets to Nashville Night 1. I literally texted a picture to my husband and I was like, should I buy them? And he was like, yeah, do it, do it, do it. And then I went back to the website and they had kind of shot back up again. And I was like, no, it's not worth it. It's like a 9-hour drive from where I live. So I just don't think it's worth it. And I kept an eye on the prices, even day of. I kept an eye on the prices for the next day, Nashville Night 2. And then Nashville Night 3, the day before, I was looking at the tickets for Nashville Night 3 and they had plummeted. And little did I know they had plummeted probably due to the weather concerns. I just knew that they plummeted. And I had always thought like, I'm going to be spending about $1,000 on one ticket, and it's just gonna be me, and I'm just gonna have to go alone. I'm gonna find a ticket somewhere and do it that way. But they plummeted so low that I was able to get one for me and my husband to go together. We ended up getting them, I believe it was around $350 each or $325. It was under $400. I remember that because I remember the total price was in the 700s range for both of us to go. And not cheap. That's for sure. And they definitely were nosebleeds. That's also for sure. But I was so excited to be able to like share this experience with my husband and not just go alone. Because I really wanted somebody to go with me whenever I did get the chance to go. So I was very, very, very excited. Then we made the drive. We did the whole thing. We got to the concert extra early just so we could get in and get to our seats because I knew it'd be pretty busy and there'd be merch and all the things. We walked out of like the indoor part of the stadium and to our seats, and I'm taking pictures on the balcony, like kind of in like just of the view of Nashville kind of, and the fact that I'm at the ERAS tour. And then all of a sudden, literally as we're taking those pictures, this thing comes on the screen. It's like, warning, please go inside. Like there's dangerous weather ahead. And so we end up going inside. We're squished in there like sardines because it's not meant to like house that many people. And we are just squished in there like sardines for hours, literally hours. I don't remember, I think it was 3 hours total or maybe 2.5. I'm not exactly sure the amount of time total. I know that we got to the stadium at 4:30 and I don't, ooh, did we really get there that early? I'm really not sure. I can't quite remember. I know that it was multiple hours worth though. And we all kind of were squished together. There was one point where we were all kind of like singing songs to entertain ourselves, and I just remember getting to the point where I was like looking at my husband and I was like, did we just drive all the way here and like literally drop everything to be here? only to find out that this show is going to be canceled. And I was like sitting on the ground and I was so sad because the reason why I'm so sad, or was so sad, is that I've wanted to go to a Taylor Swift concert since I was little. I've had times where I've like not been as big of a fan. I've been a really huge fan, but overall, I've always been somewhat of a fan. And in the past couple years, I would say even more so, like super fan status. But I remember like all the tours. I remember when I got the Fearless album. I've been a Swiftie since Our Song. Like it's been a long time coming, literally. So I just remember thinking like I finally am here. I have my chance to be here and do this, and I'm literally in the stadium and it's gonna get canceled. But we were so lucky. The crew pulled through, got the water off the stage, and the lightning cleared up enough that they said we were clear to start. And so we got to our seats. And getting to our seats, it was cold. My husband, we had raincoats on, but my husband ended up just asking for these like black trash bags, and we put those on like over our coats. And that helped a ton because it like kept in the warmth and it also protected us from the rain. So that also was really nice. The only downside is that I was so excited to go to Nashville shows because I was really excited to see Phoebe Bridgers' set. And we didn't get to see either of the openers that night because of the rain. They just never did the openers. They just started right away with like the Taylor Swift portion of the show. So that's just kind of setting the stage for like my experience leading up to the show. I have notes in front of me I kind of wrote down some notes about all the different eras and then some like final thoughts and opinions and then kind of the answer to the question, is it worth it? Would I do it again? We're going to start with Lover era, and just the opening intro in general. So I unfortunately was kind of like in the part of a stadium where I didn't have like a full-on frontal view. I had more of like a side back view. So I would say like the intro, I got to see it, but also not so much. Everything was on the big screens for the whole show except for the intro, basically. Anything that I couldn't see from like a full-on frontal view was, I just couldn't really see it. I could see like the little butterfly-like things that they do, but it was like not the best view, I would say. I will say the energy in the stadium was unreal. I feel like it's such a smart way to start the show because when the clock goes like 3, 2, 1, it like draws it out with like the "it's been a long time coming," like, and that whole like in the people coming out, like the way it's so drawn out makes the energy kind of like build, which is really cool. And I feel like the energy for Miss Americana was insane. Like when she appears from underneath the little butterfly things, it's like, "it's been a long time coming back. It's you and me. That's my whole world." Like that whole, oh, it's just iconic. Like I never would have pictured in a million years that Miss Americana would be opening this show. If you would have asked me, that would have been so low on my list of like thoughts for openers, but it's really a perfect opener. Cruel Summer from the Lover set was definitely my favorite like song from the Lover set. It's just so iconic. It's so fun to scream sing, and as like one of the first songs from the concert, I feel like it's such a good beginning to the show. It starts the show off on a really good foot right after like the little snip from Miss Americana, like straight into Cruel Summer. It's just like chef's kiss, chef's kiss. And I also wanted to mention from the Lover set that The Archer was a real like fathoming moment for me. I've never been a huge The Archer fan, but for some reason seeing it live kind of changed my perspective on it. I won't lie, I was like not disappointed to see it on the set list, but more so just like kind of indifferent. Like I was like, oh, I wouldn't have included that one probably. Like it's fine, but it's not my thing. But seeing it live honestly really changed my mind about it. I feel like I appreciated it. And so that's kind of like my overall thoughts. The Lover set was really fun. It was a good like peppy beginning to the show. And I don't think it belonged anywhere else in the show other than the beginning, so it made sense to start with Lover. Next was the Fearless set, and Fearless was a really special album for me Specifically, I remember listening to it a lot in middle school. I had the CD. I also, when I got my iPod Touch in middle school, when I first got it, it was the first album I've ever like purchased like on my iPod Touch that wasn't like an actual CD, like a physical album. And I remember so clearly like getting so excited. I got like iTunes Cash and I spent all of it on Fearless. I feel like Fearless was the album that like made me a Swiftie. And so seeing Fearless was such like a, I don't know, like full circle moment. Like I've always had a moment with Fearless, like the song. And it's always been like a really special song to me. Like when I was in middle school, I just loved it. And then when I heard Fearless TV, if you haven't seen that reaction, I listened to it when like Livy was like 3 months old or 4 months old and she was just a little baby. And I remember like crying. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like Fearless. And then seeing it live in concert was just like a healing moment to me. I don't know. It just was. But honestly, the whole era was really healing. And I don't know why that word is like coming to mind when I think of that era, but like those are the songs that I wanted to see live in concert when I was in middle school, and here I am as like a full-blown adult with a literal child married, and I'm like listening to it live for the first time. I don't know. Next, the Evermore set. So something you need to know about me is that I'm an Evermore girly and I'm a Reputation girly. So you need to know this about me in order to continue. First of all, Willow. I have always liked Willow, but seeing Willow live is a whole nother experience. If you've been there, you know. Like the witchy vibes and the little globes of light and like her cloak and like the spinning and the
Meet me after dark.
like that whole vibe is so cool. I could have never imagined Willow being that cool. Like it is a cool song, but it is really cool to see live in that like witchy sort of way. I thought it was like a really cool artistic vibe, I guess. The moment that touched me the absolute most out of the entire concert was Marjorie. I I have such like a special relationship with that song specifically. Seeing it live was something that I never would have imagined that I would get to experience, and I'm so happy that she kept this on the set list. I honestly didn't ever imagine that it would be on the set list, but I'm so happy to have seen it live. I literally sobbed. Literally sobbed. I like my husband was just like holding me while I was like sobbing at the end of that song. If you ever lost anybody who was important to you, like your grandmother or great grandmother or anything like that, Marjorie is that song. Champagne Problems, obviously iconic. I feel like the bridge was the part that I was the most excited for. It's something that I catch myself just singing out of the blue every single day. I will be like doing the dishes and I'll be like, you might have touch on the Chevy door, remember flush and you flannel cure. The storm was once a madhouse, made a joke, it's made for me how. Evergreen, our group of friends don't think I'll say that word again, and soon they'll have the nerve to deck the halls that we once walked through. One night, two for the show, I never was ready, so I watch you go. Iconic. And obviously the screams after it because it is iconic. And Tolerate It was so cathartic. So cathartic. Like I've liked Tolerate It. I think it's a good track five. Like it's out of the track fives, it's probably not my favorite. It is good, but like I don't know. But seeing it live, seeing her set the dang table with the fancy shit and like him just not caring enough, like I don't know, the whole thing, like it got me like I don't know, it made me feel some type of way, like seeing it play out in like real life like that. Like I don't know. I just felt like Tolerate It also was one of those songs that surprised me. You'll see a pattern here where there's songs where I wasn't really as excited for, but seeing it live was like a whole new experience. So let's continue. Reputation. So Reputation has always been one of my favorite albums of hers. However, I don't know if it's my favorite. I go back and forth between what my favorite is, so I don't know that it's necessarily my favorite album Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I will say on the Eras tour, Reputation was my favorite era. Something you'll have to remember here is that like it was raining by this point. We were lucky enough that like Lover, Fearless, Evermore, it wasn't really raining that much. It was like a couple of drops here and there. Reputation, it started raining, which is iconic because it's Reputation. The energy, like when the snake came on the screen, I was like, "Tch." And then you see the boots walking, and then you see her walking down the stage. I've never felt 70,000 people. Even the intro, like the intro to the concert, yes, but the intro to Reputation, I don't know. It was amazing. I feel like a lot of the things are like things that I was sad that I missed out on from other tours and I got to experience in the Eras tour. And one of those things was Delicate, the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. I've always wanted to do that. I was really like, once it was a thing in Rep tour, like I was like, oh man, like I would love to be there and just like have this shared like group experience, and that was really fun. I also feel like Delicate's not a song that I really love, and seeing it live also changed my mind. I I've always just been indifferent towards it. I won't say that I hate it. I just am indifferent. And when the beat kicks in and that second chorus, like, oh, it just hits you so good live. Like I wasn't expecting that. One of the songs that I was the most excited for in the entire tour was Don't Blame Me. I have been a Don't Blame Me stan since Rep released, like literally since day one. And I was so excited to see it on the set list. I was so excited to see it live, and it did not disappoint. When she takes you to church and she like sings that part, chef's kiss. It was so good. I can't explain, you guys. It was so good. And then the end of it, the don't blame me for what you made me do, don't blame me for what you made me do. I felt like I was in rep universe. Like I felt like I was in a different place. Like I could have done a whole Rep concert, honestly. It's just so iconic. It's so cool. It's so dark and fun and vibey. I don't know how to explain. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself here. Look What You Made Me Do. Also a song that I've never really loved, and also a song that I wasn't super excited for. And seeing it live changed my mind. Like I cannot say this over and over enough. Like it fit the era so well, and the vibe that I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. It was just so fun to like scream it. Also like the Look What You Made Me Do part live in a like concert experience with everyone screaming at the same time. It is such a fun song to scream sing. I was shook by it, honestly. It was so iconic. The people in the boxes was so cool in the different eras. So cool. Like what a great song. Like what a great song. I'm just ranting this entire time. Speak Now. Speak Now, I would say, is one of the eras that I don't want to say disappointed me because she's given us so much. But man, would I have killed for Long Live and Sparks Fly on that set list. I know that Long Live eventually got added, and I'm so jealous to all of the shows that got to see Long Live. But Sparks Fly, oh my gosh, I would have killed for Sparks Fly. It is what it is, but I would have just killed for Sparks Fly. I would have. Enchanted, however, I've always loved Enchanted. I feel like it's just one of those classic Speak Now songs. Seeing it live was really special because it made me really fathom the lyrics in like the concert experience type of way. Like this night is flawless, don't you let it go. I'm wonderstruck, dancing all the way home. I would have loved Long Live, but Enchanted was really cool to see live. It was really special, and I'm happy that it was on the set list. I could have just used more Speak Now, you know? That's all I'm gonna say. Because I'm not ungrateful. I just could have used it. That's all. Red was when the rain picked up and it became to the point of insanity. Like it was pouring rain and it was so cold, so wet. I remember during Red, I think it was during like We Are Never Getting Back Together. I remember looking down at my hands and they were just like pruny and white and I could barely feel my fingers to hold my camera. I remember that because I was so cold. But it was really fun. It definitely really pumped up the energy again. Like 22, We Are Never Getting Back Together. I Knew You Were Trouble. All really fun songs to sing along with. I got to see Nothing New, which is a song that like I've appreciated but I haven't loved. But seeing it live and seeing Phoebe and Taylor like in the pouring rain singing Nothing New, I was like, wow, this is such a deep song. Like this is so good. Also with All Too Well 10, obviously that was like a bucket list song that I've always wanted to see live. I always wanted to see the regular version live, so getting to hear the 10-minute version and like sing along like the whole 10-minute version. I think that's the point where my voice was starting to go because I remember just like scream singing that song. Like yeah, I was screaming it. I was absolutely screaming it by that point. Folklore. Folklore came after Red, and like I said, it was pouring rain, it was getting cold, it was getting so dark and cold and wet. And I remember during Folklore, I did sit down slightly a little bit during Folklore, and it's not because I didn't love Folklore, it was because of like sheer like I'm so cold that if I don't sit down and like just try to regain some like warmth by like sitting there for a few minutes with my husband, I am not going to survive. And during Folklore was the first time where I'm like, holy crap, I am exhausted. Because like I had literally been on my feet, jumping around, going crazy for hours. And by the time I got to Folklore, I'm like, it's slowing down and my adrenaline is fading. And it's like, I don't know what time it was at that point, maybe 11 or midnight. Our show ran until 1:45 a.m. So it was getting late. I was getting tired. I remember that. My favorite parts of Folklore, August, seeing her spin around on stage and run and throw herself and all the things was so cool and so like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just really cool to see August live and then seeing August fade into Illicit Affairs, the bridge, when you see like the colors fade from it's like all the little details of the tour as well, like the colors fading from the screen. Don't call me kid, don't call me baby. Look at this idiotic fool that you made me. You showed me colors you know I can't see with anyone else. Oh, it's so good. Because it's like Betty, August, and then Illicit Affairs. Like how it's so good. I also really like I've always been a huge My Tears Ricochet stan. Like absolute stan. I think it's one of the best songs she's ever written, and not just because it captures a certain emotion, but also like the way when you think about the situation it's about, it just like draws you deeper into the song. I don't know. I just really love it. And seeing it live was so heartbreakingly beautiful. I'm so happy that she put it on the set list. I never imagined that it would be on the set list, but I'm just so happy it's there. I really just like fathomed My Tears Ricochet in that moment. Seeing it live was really amazing, and I'm so happy I did. Next, 1989. I loved 1989 after Folklore because like I said, I started getting tired during Folklore, and then 1989 like brought me right back into it, pumped me right back up, got me on my feet again. I was dancing my butt off. My biggest comment about 1989, obviously it has a lot of singles on it, which is great. But the one that I wasn't expecting, I remember like when I saw the set list for the first time, I was like, Shake It Off. You know, like it's overdone. I've heard it a million times. I just don't think that I'm gonna be like that happy during Shake It Off. And Shake It Off live is a vibe. I never knew this because obviously I haven't been to a Taylor Swift concert, but I keep moving. I just remember like literally dancing my butt off during Shake It Off. You could literally see like the bleachers were like shaking from everybody shaking it off. It was my favorite song of the 1989 set. I'm so shook to be saying that. I never would have thought I would have said that, but It was my favorite. I loved it. I would do it again. 10 out of 10. I want to see Shake It Off live again, hopefully one day. So, loved that. Our secret songs were this is probably what I'm most proud of the concert were our secret songs because they were so phenomenal. Our secret songs were with Aaron Dessner, Would've, Could've, Should've, and Mine. A dangerous, phenomenal pair. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Would've, could've, should've live. And so far, she hasn't done it again. So as of right now, we are the only audience that has ever seen Would've, Could've, Should've live. I remember the thing about her talking in the stadium was that it was so echoey sometimes that it was hard to understand her. So like I remember like while she was talking, I know she brought Aaron Dessner out and I was like, "Oh my God, like this must be like a really good song. Like I'm really excited." Blah blah blah. And then I was like, she announced it and she said something and everyone screamed. And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like I didn't even hear what she said. Like I don't even know what's happening. And then it started, if you would have blinked, then you would have, na 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 na, like that whole part. And I got to the point where I was like filming and I was like singing along. And you know when you start singing along and you can't realize like what the song is for a second, and then all of a sudden it clicked and I was like, would have, could have, should have. I am seeing would have, could have, should have. I cannot function. I am not well. I am not okay. And then the entire song, literally like my voice was already gone at that moment and I pushed my voice like over the edge with that song. Like it is not an easy song to sing, but I pushed it over the edge. I was unwell after that song. My voice was completely gone. I had no voice the next day after Would've, Could've, Should've live, especially the bridge. The bridge. You can hear me like singing in the background of this concert vlog and my voice is not there. It is not functioning, but I still screamed it as loud as I could. Other secret song was Mine. I really love seeing Mine live on the piano. It was such a beautiful rendition of Mine. And I'm just happy I got another Speak Now song, honestly. Like Speak Now is not my favorite album, but I was happy to get another Speak Now song just because I felt like Speak Now I wanted to hear more of. And so I'm very happy with Mine as a secret song. But overall, from secret songs standpoint, I am so happy with what we got. Cannot believe that I got Would've, Could've, Should've. It might be like go down as one of my biggest accomplishments in history. I'm not afraid to brag. I'm not afraid. Anyways, obviously the last set is Midnights, and Midnights was a really fun set. I really loved how during Midnights, especially during Antihero, she like made a point to go to like the far edges of the stage and wave hi to people. Like I felt like that was really sweet that she literally wanted to see every single person in the entire stadium and peered her head around like the big stage to make sure she could see everyone. I thought that was really sweet. I also My favorite performances from Midnights were Midnight Rain and Vigilante Shit. Midnight Rain is probably my favorite song on Midnights. It goes back and forth between a lot of different songs, but I love Midnight Rain. It was really fun because it was past midnight and it was raining and they had the umbrellas and everything, so I felt like it was really cool to see Midnight Rain while it was like midnight and raining. Vigilante Shit was just fun. I don't know how to explain it. It's never been one of my favorite songs on Midnights. I think it's really cool that she did it. I think it's really cool that she did it because it's a really cool revenge song, but like it's never been one of my favorites. But seeing it live is a whole nother experience. You were just like, yes, get it, girl. Get it. Get it. Get it. And Sean was like, so it was really fun. Karma as a closer, very fun as well. Like Karma was just that girl, you know. Karma's a good closer for that entire concert. Like saying like Karma's my boyfriend. It's just so funny to end the concert in that way. I feel like it was just really iconic of her to do that. And yeah, that is kind of my notes for each of the eras. I just have a couple of closing. One of the things that I was most impressed about was her vocal ability. The amount of high notes in that concert, and she hit them all with ease. It just spoke to how professional she is and how good her voice has gotten over time. I was very, very, very impressed with that. Most of the vocals, if not like almost all of them, were live, which was really, really cool to see. I also wanted to shout out to like the dancers, the band. The dancers were phenomenal. She has amazing dancers. The band also phenomenal. Like they came out on stage with her sometimes for certain eras, which was really fun. I also just thought her performance was really good. Like there were so many moments of the concert where it's not like she's not just singing this song, she's literally acting it. Like she is putting her heart and soul and like her everything into this performance. And I felt like that was really, really cool to see. Like special in a way. Like I know she does the same thing every single night, but like the fact that she puts her heart and soul into it just made me realize like how important these like live performances are to her and how much time and effort they must take to put together. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all that I could think to talk about. I thought the visuals were amazing. The fact that there's barely any interlude between songs and she's up on her feet dancing, singing, doing the most every single era. It's actually shocking that she can do this every single like every single weekend basically for the past like however many months she's done it for. It's crazy. It's so good. I can't believe it. To answer the question, would I do it again? Would I recommend it to a friend? Do I think you should go to a show if you can? The answer to that, of course, is yes. I don't think you ever thought during this that I would say no, but the answer is most definitely yes. I spent a good amount of money for both my husband and I to go, but a lot less than a lot of people spent. And I would do it all over again. If in fact, if a show near me happens and I see the prices drop again, I will do it again because I know that she's doing like a second round in 2024. So I just wanted to say that like this was such a fun show and so unbelievable. Such a dream come true. And I still sometimes can't fathom that I was there, that I did that, that I was there. And one thing's for sure. One, if I have another opportunity to go, I will. A. But two, her next tour, I am absolutely buying tickets for. Also, I wanted to mention, because now that it's been announced and everything, I'm also going to see the Eras Tour movie, which is so exciting. I am going in October to see that. So that's kind of all I had planned for today. I just wanted to share my favorite parts of the show and share my thoughts on the show itself. Was the money worth it? Was everything what I thought it would be? And yeah, that's kind of all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you went to the Eras Tour, let me know down below. If you're going to the Eras Tour, let me know down below and where you're going and when. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I got to go. It honestly was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And if you are interested, if you want to see my entire concert vlog, it is up on my vlog channel and it'll be up on the screen in just a few seconds. See you guys later. Bye guys.